Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and in today's video we're doing another what's it worth. And obviously we previously did the Gleam Emerald Scorb, and so getting straight to the point, standing right behind me is going to be none other than the Gleam Ruby Scorb. Now once again, this bad boy was actually lent to me by Darm Stradium, so major shout outs to you. And on the topic of Darm actually owns the server for Reliable Values, which is the server I recently partnered with. So if you guys want to get any sort of values, or you just need a value list to work off of, then go on and join the Discord server. That'll be pinned down in the comment section below. But before we get straight into the facts, I want you guys to keep everything I say onwards with a grain of salt, as these are subject to change, and since it's relatively early into its own value and the event still hasn't ended at the time of this recording, the values are still 100% subject to change. As of now, we can see this being at the lowest around almost 9 to 10 GR, with the highest being almost 15 GR max with great demand. Now, be it this demand can easily drop once again, as I stated, but as for the odds, we can see this being a 1 in 64,000 chance to find in the wild, similarly to the other previous anniversary events and their Ruby variants. But with that in mind, let's get straight into the trading process. All right, let's go in the chat. Let's type in looking for offers on Gleam Ruby Scorb, and boom. And now let's wait for offers. All right, and our first trader request is coming from Desired Units. Let's see what Desired has to trade with us today. So we started for the Gamma Rainbow Stratosaur, Pure Nimble, a Gamma Weavolt, Dull Nimble, and it does seem like this may be Desired's final offer, but I'll quickly check in a second. All right, so I really haven't received a response yet from Desired, but I'm assuming this is their final offer. So with this being said, is this trade worth it? Personally speaking, I would say this trade is currently a thumbs up. Do bear in mind that the Gamma Stratosaur alone is going to have OP demand, just for the fact that obviously it's one of the better route rares that you can find. And although it is on the lower end for its base, since this one is a Rainbowist, and Rainbowist have been on the high rise lately, this one's going to be around almost 16 GR at the very highest. Bear in mind, it does have OP demand, so that's mainly one of the reasons for that as well. As for the Gamma Weevil in question, since obviously those are going to be very OP as well for their starters, we can see this being at the lowest minimum 3 GR, and obviously it gets overpaced, so just bear in mind it can get from anywhere from almost 5 to 6 or even more GR, just depending solely on the person in question. I can see that being a W currently, and maybe in the long run we can see these Scorbs actually going up depending on how many are actually in stock. But that being said, let's get into our next trade. All right, and the next trade request is coming from Juno3310 So let's see what Juno has to trade with us today. So we start off with a Gamma Lunar New Year's Sea Drake, Pure Nimble, a Gamma Issa Dorogo, Pure Smart, a Gleam Christmas Metronet, Frail Robust, and it does seem like this may be Juno's final offer, but I'll quickly check in a second. All right, and Juno did just confirm by saying yep. So with this being said, is this trade worth it? Personally speaking, I would say this trade is gonna have to be a thumbs up. Bear in mind that the GR is gonna be great overall, but the demand for the two Loomians being Dorogo and Metronet here are gonna be pretty bad, though be it we're looking around almost 5 to 6 for both the Dorogo and Metronet, so total we got around almost 10 to 12 GR. Bad demand. However, for the Sea Drake in this question, it's not a Radiant, so with that in mind, it's not going to push towards crazy high value, but it is still going to be around 8 to 9 GR with great demand that we can work off with. So personally speaking, this trade is going to have to be a thumbs up. In the long term, this also could be a thumbs up still, but that'll once again depend based on the quantity and the overall demand for this Loomian. That being said, let's get into our next trade. And the next trade request is coming from Ziplock52, so let's see what Ziplock has to trade with us today. So we start off with a Gamma Magenta Cosmere, Pure Nimble, a Gleam Santa Dusket, Pure Robust, and this may be Ziplock's final offer, but I'll quickly check in a second. All right, and I did just confirm with Zip, who did just say, yeah, this is my final offer. So with this being said, is this trade worth it? Personally speaking, since the Gamma Cosmeres alone are around 15 GR at the very best, this one's going to be technically considered an indifferent one, so we can see this being around almost 13 GR at the very highest, which is still relatively good, although it is at fair demand. We do have the Gleam Christmas Duskets, which unfortunately have been on the drop lately. This one's going to be around closer to about 8 GR. Just bear in mind that's solely due to the fact that it's not Pure Nimble, Pure Smart, so since it is Pure Robust, it is technically good for Harmonize at the very same time. You have to bear in mind it's not the preferred nature you really want, so that's just the main reason for that. But overall, once again, a thumbs up, and I would definitely do this trade. But with this being said, let's get into our next trade. All right, and the next trade request is coming from Trap-A-Mask1987, so let's see what Trap has to trade with us today. So we start off with a Gleam Cool Singeal, Pure Nimble, a Gleam Snack, Pure Nimble, a Gleam Waka Laka, Pure Nimble, and it does seem like this may be Trap's final offer, but I'll quickly check in a second. All right, and I did just confirm with Trap as to whether or not this is their final offer or not, and they did just say yes. So with this being said, is this trade worth it? Unfortunately, this trade is going to be pushing towards a massive thumbs down. Just bear in mind, it's pretty obvious, but we don't really have a lot of GR to work with here. It's just simple 3 Gleams. We really can't do much here, and that being said, let's get into our next and final trade. All right, and the next and final trade request is coming from Cobble3, so let's see what Cobble has to trade with us today. So we start off with a Gleam SA Dusket, Pure Nimble, a Gamma Christmas Gargoyle, Pure Nimble, Gamma Nevermare, Pure Nimble, a Gamma Rainbowist Ragoon, Brawny Clumsy, a Gamma Protagon, Pure Nimble, a Gamma Dusket, Frail Smart, another Gamma Protagon, Pure Brawny, and it does seem like this may be Cobble's final offer, though be it is very much a flex offer, so just bear this in mind. But let's quickly confirm, and I'll cut to that. All right, and I did just confirm with Cobble, who did just say yes to whether or not this is their final offer or not. And with that being said, is this trade worth it? This trade is going to be an obvious massive thumbs up. There, I need to even explain this. We have a Gleam SA Dusket, a Gamma Christmas Gargoyle, though be it doesn't really have great demand. We have a Gamma Nevermare, a Gamma Rainbowist Ragoon. I know know it's not SA, but even then, it is a Rainbowist route rare. So with everything in mind, and as well as the 3 Gamma roams, pretty sure we both know where this is going. This is a massive thumbs up once again. And with this being said, let's wrap this straight up. Alright guys, that's gonna be it for today's video. Hope you guys did enjoy. Make sure to like, subscribe, and join our Discord server. While you're in it, go join Reliable Values to get your value list. And if you need any sort of information on demand or just the uprising of values, all that good stuff is there. And we also do host giveaways over there, so just join that immediately. But don't just stop there. Head on over to my TikTok. And yes, Unk does post on TikTok. Every single YouTube short that I posted is now currently on my TikTok page, and not including the Dungeon Quest one because that was way before, but everything else is there. Additionally, final news, go join my art competition if you haven't already, because if you guys didn't already know, we have less than a week on that, specifically less than 6 days at the moment. So if you guys want to join, I would recommend joining ASAP. First place is a $50 Robux gift card, second place being a $10 Robux gift card, and third place being $5 worth of Robux. So join that immediately while you can and enter. You have up to 3 submissions, and any further information is in my Discord server. That being said, I hope you guys did enjoy. Remember, pineapples are vegetables. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care, stay safe, peace.